Welcome back to Single Scoops. We are your K-Pop Sundaes, and this is part 3 of our December wrap-up.
Life got really crazy this year, so instead of our usually scheduled end-of-year episodes, we decided to break up our favorites and predictions.
For the month of December, you'll be getting a new episode each Sunday, hosted by a different Sunday.
Thank you so much for listening this past year, and we hope to see you in the next. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we hope you have a very happy New Year.
Today, it's my episode. Hi, my name is Min. If you're unfamiliar, out of the 4 of us, I am the most casual fan, who listens to a lot of different artists, and know basically nothing about each one. My adult knowledge is basically nothing, and I don't really watch dramas or follow Korean news, so my episode is gonna be a bit more music heavy than the other ones. I hope you'll stick around, and maybe we can discuss our favorite releases in the comments. In my opinion, there has been a lot of good music releases this year, so let's start with some of my K-pop highlights of 2025. Early in the year, Chungha released Stress, and it really set the tone for the rest of the year, for me at least. I might be biased, but Chungha really thrives in the Vogue dance pop style of music, and I love an artist that really lets their dancers shine. She is a strong dancer herself, but seeing her whole team of dancers all shine is amazing. We also did get a collaboration between her and Sunmi with Salty, which was absolutely amazing, and it is a travesty that we did not get a full music video for that track. Next up, Ailey released Illusion. She is still a vocal powerhouse, and this track is so danceable yet melancholic, full of woe yet hopeful in its own way and painfully underrated. The entirety of Memoir feels deeply personal with meaning and Me, Myself, and I. I highly recommend listening to the full EP for a beautiful mix of ballads and danceable tracks. The next track I want to talk about is a completely different vibe with Cat's Eyes, Gnarly, which was truly a moment this year. The intense hate it got upon release and the cult following that it grew pretty much right after was a wild ride to see happen. I personally enjoy a lot of hyperpop, so when I first heard the track I was like, this is really cool, and it sounds a little bit familiar. And then I realized, oh, Alice Long Gao, she worked on it, whom I love, and Gnarly has a lot of her essence in it. And from a marketing standpoint, I think Gnarly was the best song to release after Touch, to really show the range of the group. Like, had they chosen Game Boy to be the comeback instead, which is also a song that I love, I don't think the promotion cycle for the Beautiful Chaos EP would have been as impactful as it became. And also, Gabriella was a real treat. The music video, the song itself, the live stages of it, absolutely stunning. Go listen to Beautiful Chaos, it's great. And I'm excited to see where they go from here. I am personally kinda biased when it comes to girl groups and female solo artists, but I do promise there was a lot of great boy group releases this year. My favorite was Hoshi and Woosie's Stupid Idiot. I love duos, and these two have such good energy together. They made their subunit debut this year, and I'm pretty sure 96ers is the actual title track of the mini-album that they dropped, which is a really good song, but Stupid Idiot really stole my heart. It truly is a track that is all in good fun. Be cringe, have a good time, it's okay, and I love that. The final song in this section I want to talk about is XG's Gala, which has been on repeat since release. The Vogue influences is always a hit for me. The fashion and the aesthetics are out of this world. The lyricism and references, even with the French, is flawless. And this is probably my favorite dance of the year. From the runway walk to the seamless transitions between who is the center, the effortless use of levels, Harley's splits, Kakona's floor work, and how incredibly in sync they all are. The choreography team on this did an absolutely phenomenal job. And as far as I could figure out, it was choreographed by Sienna Lalau, with assistance by Jaylee Lalau and Giselle Siva, who all have danced with the group at their live performances and tours. And for Gala, it seems like they also got some voguing and additional input from the iconic Love Ran, G. Kalua, and Vance Madero, all incredible dancers in their own right. So, if we're then moving on to songs not released in 2025, this one is going to be a little bit of a stretch. But it is my episode and I can do what I want. So, a couple of years back, Rayami was actually one of the artists I was considering choosing for my non-K-pop artist song of the year. She is Korean American, but her music is more American independent artist rather than K-pop. And her songs are mostly in English too, so it's a really gray area. But now that she's part of a K-pop girl group with Huntrix, I feel like we're close enough here, so I'm gonna mention her here. So, Rayami's solo music is great. I was introduced to her music by stumbling across it on Tumblr, and I was like, damn. Snowcone? Great. Dictator? Amazing. I cannot wait to see what else she makes. And then Freak with Suburban dropped. And I was in shock because two artists that I'd very recently gotten into did a collab together. Wild. Also, the Thrill Seeker EP, I listened to that far too much in 2020, but it is really good and you should listen to it, but that's besides the point. The release that I actually wanted to talk about is her 2023 EP, Shh. This release only has 5 tracks, and all of them are bangers. The fact that I did not listen to this upon release and only sat down to listen to it this year is an actual travesty. She has always had a duality in the music she makes, but this really dips into her more aggressive side, and I am really here for it. The EP starts off with Random Acts of Violence, which lures you in. Body Bag is larger than life, wishing for death and destruction. Then Yellow Tape is a reprieve from the intensity of the prior songs and give you just enough uncanny peace before shh hits you with its aggressive, grimy, and raw emotions, making you feel like you can rip your enemies' faces off. I'm finishing with What Have I Done is a religious experience painted by guilt and anxiety. Please go listen to this EP. It is so good. Moving over to groups that I've gotten a little bit more into this year, I haven't really gotten into specific groups, but I have gotten more into some solo artists, specifically The Deep and Effie this year. Boomst are both solo artists, more in the indie, rap, hyperpop scene than the K-pop scene. So if we're starting off with Effie, she dropped her album E this year, and it's very hyperpop influenced, very dreamlike, melting beautifully between upbeat and more relaxed songs. Effie is mainly a rapper, but she does dip her toes into singing on this record, which sounds really good. Some standout songs to me are Maybe Baby and Down. In my Min's Music Corner episode that released earlier this year, I did talk briefly about The Deep and how she's been in her 2010s party girl music era, and I have been loving it! And the music she has released since we dropped that episode have been just as good. Some standout songs being Lucky Star and Different. I do also need to shout out Kimji song My Unis that features Sebi, Effie, and The Deep, and especially the My Unis freestyle. It is such a great collab. The freestyle is a little bit more dirty and grimy sounding rather than the cutesy vibe of My Unis, and I love them both. But for me personally, the freestyle is the one that has been going on loop more. But definitely go check it out. If you jump over to the non-K-pop song of the year, there has been a lot of good music released this year and a lot of good pop music released this year, so choosing just one track has been really hard. Like, some of the albums that I were considering was Ashniko's Smoochies, because she's continually been one of my top listened to artists, and it's so rude that we didn't get a music video for Wet with Cobra and Ashniko. That song is so good. Another great release this year was Rosalia's Lux. Just sit down and listen to it. It is spiritual, it's a moment, it's absolutely beautiful. But the one that I really wanted to talk about is Chrissy Chapeka with Christine. It's theatrical, it's queer, and it's over the top in all the best ways. This is definitely her biggest project thus far, in a more mature way, with a bigger focus on her vocal abilities and production, but still keeping true to her lesbian bimbo roots. This album, to me, feels very personal to Chrissy, and is also a love letter to the pop divas that came before her. Passion Fruit, Apollo, Aria especially are all bangers, and if you love pop, go give Christine a listen. It is definitely worth your time. Let's move over to concerts and events. In 2025, I went to a total of 3 concerts. all of them by my lonesome, and I went to my first actual K-pop concert this year. I have been to shows by Korean artists before, but none of them have been K-pop in the broader sense. You could argue that DPR, which I saw last year, is K-pop, but they also don't really do the whole K-pop thing. So, I don't know. But anyhow, that was last year. And this year, I first saw Rolling Quartz. Also not K-pop, but Korean rock. And they do a lot of covers of K-pop songs, along with their own original music. This show was held at a very small venue in my city, and it was not at capacity, which was really chill. There were some smaller issues with the scheduling, but nothing that took away from the overall experience. They did a really good set of both their original songs and the covers they were most known for, and they sounded absolutely amazing. Scandinavian crowds are kinda antisocial and pretty rough, but they did a really good job at engaging the crowd and had really sweet moments, even playing a local song. If you have the opportunity to go to any of their shows, I would highly recommend it, even if you're just a casual fan of them as a group. It is a great time. And for their encore song, they played Helena by My Chemical Romance, which was such a fun surprise. I also did manage to find a video by Musikredaktion if you want to see what the show was like. It is linked in the document. The second concert I saw this year was Baby No Money. Not K-pop, but 10 out of 10 concert experience. Would go again. Loved it. And then the last concert that I went to, the big one. I got to see G-Dragon in Paris. This was a full-on arena tour that was almost completely sold out. I believe there was only a few tickets left, and those were all like the super platinum VIP tickets, which I don't understand how people can afford. But some people did buy some, and they're in a different tax bracket than what I am. I personally had too high hopes for this show, which isn't great because the higher your hopes are, the more disappointed you're gonna be when it doesn't reach. So I'm gonna probably sound a little bit negative here, but I really did enjoy the show. I really enjoyed the music, but I'm not sure if I would go again. Some of it is straight up me not having a good day that day, with the traveling and being dehydrated and the venue being a little bit overwhelming with a kind of weird layout. But another part of it is also all the expectations of having seen videos from his last tour in Europe, the Motta Act 3 from 2017, which all of the videos from that looked amazing. And of course the constant videos from his current tour. And the fact that there was only one singular stop for the Europe leg of this tour, the expectations were just set really, really high. He started this show off with Power and Home Sweet Home. And I remember thinking, yeah, we're not getting any guests at this show, which is a kind of dumb thought since that's literally how he starts every show of the tour. But yeah, we didn't get any guests, which is fair. Scheduling and flying people out is not easy nor cheap to coordinate. And when you go to a show, you're not there to see the guests. They're like a little bonus if there are any. You're here to see the main act, which was G-Dragon, and he was there and he did great. But some of the hologram videos were a little sad. There were also a couple of songs that I really hoped to see that didn't get played, but that is also the curse of having a multi-year-long discography. You can't play every song. So there will always be tracks that you just don't have time to perform. Though I am really jealous at the shows that got to hear Ride or Die and The Leaders. But he did do I Love It, Who You, Heartbreaker, all the songs that I was screaming my heart out to. Loved it. It was great. And his team of dancers did an absolutely amazing job, and same with the live band, were sounding really good the entire night. So it was overall a great show. His videos between each act of the concert were interesting, though the ones that were very AI heavy didn't really have as much impact as the ones that were text-based, or you could see that they had put time into filming, or the one playing with A-Boy that was filled with old clips from his childhood. These were all far more impactful than the AI ones. But then again, he does have stakes in an AI company, so it's not surprising that there was use of AI video. There was also an interview video playing at the end of the show before the encore, which was in Korean, because Korean is his first language. Of course, the interview would be in Korean. And they only had French subtitles, which does make sense. The show was held in Paris, but seeing as this was the only European show. Not having English subtitles under it, as well as the French ones, was a little bit of a choice. I know they probably have English subtitles for it for the American leg of the tour. Maybe it would have looked too messy with two different subtitles under, I don't know, but it was a bit awkward just sitting there for like 10 minutes and being like, yes, I do not speak Korean, I do not know what is going on. I should really learn Korean, this is on me. So yeah, even if my expectations were set a little bit too high, it was still amazing to get to see him live. I've been wanting to see G-Dragon and most of Big Bang live since I got into K-pop, so finally being able to have that experience was absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that he's back on the music scene and making things again, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds for both him and the other members currently in Big Bang. Let's move over to the K-pop collection update. The only thing that I added to my K-pop collection this year was another thrifted Block B album, specifically their 6th mini-album, Montage, leaving my current Block B album count at 4. I'm in no rush when it comes to collecting, so I prioritize when I find albums locally. Like if I really wanted to speedrun any of the collections I'm working on, I could probably burn a lot of money and buy it internationally, but that gets really overwhelming and then I end up buying nothing because there's too many things to choose from. So we're taking it at a slow pace. Oh yeah, I didn't get to buy merch at the GDE concert, and not really at the Rolling Quartz one either. I was actually planning on buying the GD Light Stick, but I got to the venue far too late, so that was just not in the cards for me that day, so maybe at a later point I'll get it, but nah, I did get like a tiny little guitar pick that says G-Dragon on it, so I guess that counts for the collection, but other than that I didn't really get any merch at the shows I went to. If we're hopping over to the New Year's resolutions, last year for 2025, I didn't really have any resolutions related to K-pop, but for next year, aka 2026, I really want to expand my 21 collection. I only have one singular album of theirs, and I really want to change that. They are literally my favorite K-pop group. It is really sad that I don't have as many albums by them, even though they are kind of cursed with the YG album releasing model where they have a lot of like overlapping things. So it is a little bit like, do I want all of them? It's a little bit hard. I do have a goal of getting at least one more 21 album next year. That would be fun. If we're moving over to predictions and hopes, last year for 2025, my predictions were companies doing everything they can to make money are going to fail, and the smaller groups just making music is gonna be better off. I'm not sure if you've seen much of that yet, but it's always fun when new groups manage to build their online following. Even if they're not like big, critically acclaimed groups, they're still getting a stronger fan base online, and I love to see that every time. It is great. And for next year, I hope that 2026 will be filled with more fun music. We've started seeing more groups not take themselves too seriously, and that leads to a lot more fun. And we really need fun, upbeat music in the times that we're going through right now. It would also be really cool to see more old groups making comebacks or just even having reunion stages and stuff like that, but that is always the hope. You know? So yeah, that was all I wanted to yap about today. I'd love to hear what y'all's favorite releases of 2025 was, and if you have any music recommendations for me, please put them in the comments. I might be really slow at replying, but I do read all of them. And I hope y'all have a great holiday season and a happy new year. See you on the other side. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, then please make sure to rate, subscribe, follow, and tell your friends about us. If you want to interact with us or just see more of our content, then you can follow the links in the description to our website and social media platforms. More single scoops are coming your way soon. Thanks everyone. Bye!